Hello, and welcome to another lesson from Level Up Mathematics. In today's lesson, we will be looking at solving equations with variables on both sides that have either no solution or infinite solution. These are special cases that everyone should be familiar with when solving. If you're familiar with these cases, it can help you save time when solving them. So there's three things that can happen when you're solving an equation with variables on both sides. You can have an infinite solution. Infinite solutions occurs when in the simplified equation you have the same exact variable on each side and the same exact constant term on each side. So if your variable terms are the same and your constant terms are exactly the same, that equation is going to have an infinite number of solutions. And if you notice that, then you don't even need to solve it. All right. Now, we can also have an equation with no solution. No solution occurs when the variables are exactly the same. So here we have positive 3x and positive 3x, but the constant terms are different. So we have negative 5, positive 7. If that happens, your equation will have no solution, and you can save time by not even having to solve it. So when variable terms are the same and constant terms are different, there will be no solution. Okay, so let me just review that. If your variable terms are the same and your constant terms are the same, infinite solutions. If your variable terms are the same but constant terms are different, there's no solution. Now, the other thing that can occur is equations that have one exact solution. So in this problem here, the variable terms are different. If the variable terms are different, that means you will have one solution to the equation. So the variable terms are different. One solution. Okay? Now let's look at an example of this. It's in example 1, it says solve 7 times the quantity x plus 3 plus 9 equals 5 times the quantity x minus 2 minus 3x. The first thing we want to do is simplify this so that it's in its simplified form, and then we'll decide how many solutions it has. So we'll start off by using our distributive property to remove any parentheses. So 7 times x gives us 7x. 7 times 3 gives us 21. And we have plus 9. And that's equal to 5 times x, which is 5x. And 5 times negative 2, which is negative 10. And then minus 3x. Now, we still don't have our simplified equation yet because we have a lot of like terms we need to combine. So let's combine. Whoops, I made a mistake there. I didn't want to. That was supposed to be a 7x. My like terms here are 21 and 9. And on the other side, my like terms are 5x and negative 3x. So this would be 7x plus 30 equals 2x minus 10. Now we're going to look at the simplified equation, and we're going to fill in these words over here. So in the simplified equation, the variable terms are different, because on the left side we have a 7x, and on the right side we have a 2x. So look at your chart above. How many solutions do we have if the variable terms are different? And hopefully you saw that it only had one solution. That means this equation can be solved. So if it can be solved, then we need to work it out to find that solution. So we would subtract 2x from both sides to get 5x plus 30 equals negative 10. Subtract the 30 to get 5x equals negative 40, and then divide by 5 to get x equals negative 8. So we found our one solution. All right, example 2. It says solve negative 4x plus 3 times the quantity 5x plus 6 is equal to 7 times the quantity 2x plus 1 minus 3x. So let's begin by finding our simplified equation. So drop the negative 4x down, distribute the 3. So 3 times 5x gives us 15x. 3 times 6 gives us 18, equal to 7 times 2x gives us 14x. 7 times 1 gives us 7, and then minus 3x. Okay, now combine your like terms. So negative 4x plus 15x is 11x plus 18. On the right side, we have 14x minus 3x is 11x plus 7. So let's look at, this is our simplified equation. So let's fill in the blanks here. In the simplified equation, the variable terms are the same, and the constant terms are different. So that means we do not need to solve this problem. Look at the chart above to see how many solutions this equation has. The variable terms are the same, the constant terms are different, and according to our chart, that is no solution. All right, example 3. Negative 5 minus 9x equals 3 times the quantity 1 minus 3x minus 8. All right, let's start by finding our simplified equation. We have negative 5 minus 9x equals, distribute the 3, 3 minus 9x minus 8. Combine like terms. Okay, now we've got our simplified equation. So in this simplified equation, the variable terms are the same. The constant terms are also the same. So when this happens, we have an infinite number of solutions. Infinite number of solutions. All right, example 4. Solve each of the following if possible. If the equation has no solution or infinite solutions, explain your reason. So let's start with problem A here. We'll distribute the 3. 3 times 2x gives us 6x. 3 times 2 gives us 6 minus 3x. Here we have equals 6 plus 3x. Combine like terms. This would be 3x plus 6 equals 6 plus 3x. So if we look at our variable terms, they're the same. And we look at our constant terms, they are also the same. So in that case, this is infinite, I'll just abbreviate that, solutions, because variable terms and constant terms are the same. All right. Pause the video and try problem B on your own. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. First thing I did was distributed the 6 to get 12x minus 36. Then I distributed the negative 7 to get 14x minus 28. Then I compared my variable terms, 12x and 14x, and I noticed they were different. So if they're different, that means that there's going to be one solution. So we have to find that. So subtract 14x to get negative 2x minus 36 equals negative 28. Add 36 to get negative 2x equals positive 8. Divide by negative 2. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. If necessary, pause the video to correct anything that you might have gotten wrong. All right, problem C. Pause the video and try this problem on your own. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. All right, I began with distributing the 8 to get 40x minus 24. Then I distributed 6 to get negative 18x minus 24. Then I noticed that the variable terms were different, which meant I had to find the one solution. So I added 18x to give me 58x minus 24 equals negative 24. Then I added 24 to both sides. So 58x equals 0. Divide both sides by 58. 0 divided by 58 is 0. So x is equal to 0. All right, pause the video and try problem D on your own. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. I put 3x minus 13 on the left side. Then I distributed the 7 to get 7x plus 14. Then I distributed negative 4 to get negative 4x plus 28. Then I combined like terms on the right side. 7x minus 4x was 3x, and 14 plus 28 is 42. Then I noticed that the variable terms were the same, but the constant terms are different. So this problem has no solution because the variable terms are the same, but constant terms are different. That results in a no solution equation. You can also use a 0 with a slash for it to represent no solution. And that concludes today's lesson, solving special cases of variables on both sides.